flood, how a broken toilet, a very confused plumber, and a plastic dinosaur led me to the man of my dreams. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a disaster that ended in a wedding. I'm currently married to a man who smells like lavender and expensive cologne, but the first time I met him, he smelled like a city sewer and looked like he'd just lost a fight with a badger. Most people meet their soulmates at a gallery opening or through a mutual friend. I met mine while I was wearing a green mud mask and standing ankle-deep in my own flooded bathroom. It was a Saturday night and I had everything planned out. A glass of wine, a face mask, and absolute silence. But the universe decided to laugh at me. It started with a gurgle, not a small one, but a deep, ominous sound coming from my toilet. Within 10 minutes, my perfectly decorated apartment was becoming an indoor swimming pool. I panicked. I called every emergency service in the city, but it was Saturday night. No one was coming. Finally, a tired dispatcher told me they had one guy left, but he was raw. I told them I didn't care if they sent a caveman as long as he had a wrench. An hour later, there was a knock on my door. I opened it, looking like a swamp monster with my green face mask, and there he was. Your father. He had mud on his face, grease on his hands, and a giant wrench over his shoulder. He took one look at me and said, "Nice look. You usually entertain badgers in your bathroom." He spent the next 3 hours wrestling with my pipes. I sat on my kitchen counter, watching him work while I tried to wash the dried mud off my face. He wasn't just a plumber, he was like a surgeon for sewage. He pulled out a toothbrush, a massive clump of hair, and I'm not kidding, a small plastic toy dinosaur. He held it up and asked, "Is this yours or are you growing Jurassic Park in your pipes?" Drop a mess in the comments if you've ever had a home disaster turn into something legendary. I need to know I'm not the only one. Despite the smell and the chaos, he didn't stop making jokes. By 2 a.m., the water was gone, the floor was drying, and he was covered in even more grime than when he arrived. He stood up, wiped the sweat from his forehead with a dirty rag, and said, "Fixed. That'll be $200, but since I saved your life, I'll take a dinner date instead. And maybe ditch the green mask next time." I didn't think he was serious, but the next night, he showed up at my door looking like a completely different person. Clean, sharp, and still making those terrible badger jokes. We went to the cheapest diner in the city because I was still broke from the apartment repairs, and we talked until the staff had to kick us out. I missed my quiet Saturday night, but I found the only man who could see me at my absolute worst, covered in mud and sewage, and still think I was worth a second look. 10 years later, he still handles the plumbing, and I still keep that plastic dinosaur on my nightstand. And that's how I met your father. It wasn't a movie, it was a plumbing catastrophe, but I wouldn't trade that flood for anything in the world. Success is the best revenge, but love is the best reward. See you in the next one.